Citizens of Duloc and international lords and ladies, welcome to the Capitol building of Duloc. You have all arrived for your monthly policy meetings to discuss the duties of the government. Unfortunately, upon entering, you notice Shrek is already sitting at the table, with stab wounds to his neck and blood everywhere. You are immediately saddened by this event, and some of you may understandably become hysterical. Shrek was a beloved ruler, improving the lives of nobles and peasants and all in between. He worked well with all policymakers, international lords and ladies, and that is why it is necessary to find justice for his murder. The whole agrees that this monthly meeting must be devoted to investigating Shrek's murder and finding his killer. You correctly assume that the Capitol building is full of clues, as he died here, and that his killer is potentially standing amongst you right now. But before we can get started, let's go over some of the logistics of how Duloc is run and your position in the government.
Here is a map of the Capitol building. You'll find that behind you is the Department of Agriculture, and up and to your right is the Department of Energy. Also, you have the throne room to your left where Shrek is, and the Noble's Chamber above that. These are the four main areas where you'll be finding your clues, as the International Embassy and Peasants' Locker Room have little in them, and they're not as essential to the function of this government. You may find some clues back in the rooms, but your main focus should be in these four main areas. Next, we'll go over the specific factions that all of you have been assigned to. We have the nobles of Duloc, the business developers, and the Department of Energy. They all have a history of working well together, and they have many allies within each faction. They're working on projects together, and during the game, you may have some overlap in interests and roles. On the right, we have the peasants, international lords, and the Department of Agriculture. They also have a history of working well together. They have aligned their interests to help each other's projects and improve the peasants' lives overall. And it's important to note that the nobles on the left and the international lords on the right are the main influential and money power behind how the specific factions operate. Along with investigating Shrek's death, you also have the duty of filling the throne that he has left vacant. Here is a list of potential candidates that are willing to fill the throne. The candidates that make the most sense and will require the least amount of influence in order to reach the throne are the nobles and the lords and ladies. The government officers are moderately strong candidates, but the peasants and business developers are the least weak candidates and will need the most to reach the throne. The Visco girl is a noble leader of Duloc and has many friends in the business developers and the government offices. She has little enemies throughout and is a very popular choice. Lady Daenerys of International Lands is very popular among the peasants especially. She's an intelligent ruler and has a reputation of seeking a form of justice. Among the government officers, Cat Pam of the Department of Energy has made little enemies in her years of public service, which is also true for Olaf of the Department of Agriculture. Olaf has proven his trustworthiness among the peasants over years of agricultural policy making. Among the peasants and business developers, Pirate King Monkey D. Luffy makes the most sense to the peasants. He's a man of the people and a strong leader for the peasants which need a voice. The business developers have made many enemies over their dealings of the years. Mike Ditka is one of the most famous developers but has created much prosperity for the land in his forceful deal making. Although he has made many enemies, he has many strong friends through the money that he has brought. Throughout the game, you will find influence points among the clues that you find. You also start the game with influence points. These can be pooled with specific nominees, and the nominee that reaches 20 points by the end of the game will be sitting on the throne. I'll refer you back to your faction alliances to discuss if your specific faction leader cannot reach the throne, that you will most likely want to side with someone that aligns with your interests at least.